Hey people, Joe the Floating Head is back, and I'm here to review my Friday the 13th Part 2. I just had a Dr. Pepper, so I'm chipper, but I am being quiet because the rest of the family is asleep, even though it's only 11:30. I guess that's meh. Especially out here where there's nothing to do. Can't go to a friend's house or anything. That's not the point. My review for Friday the 13th Part 2. Basically, this movie centers around the undead, or kinda undead. He becomes really undead in the future. It gets confusing. The risen Jason Voorhees, the son of the original killer in the first one. That's the first complaint I have about it. Right off the bat is that they kill the logic. Any reason that Pamela Voorhees had for going on this killing spree is now irrelevant because the son never died. And so her complaint as to why she's killing these people is no longer there, and that really bugs me. I don't know, it kills the logic. If you look at it through the eyes of the first film, it's carbon copy, but it's a new killer, and it kind of changes the storyline and the plot, but there's the same people being killed, the same sort of demographic, the same group, the same kinds of people that are being slaughtered here. And if you look at it through the eyes of the later films, it's basically the first Jason movie, but it doesn't really feel that way because he's different. He doesn't quite have his style yet. He's not slow or lumbering. He doesn't have a hockey mask or a machete, which would become completely symbolic of him by the end of the franchise. He has a bag over his head because he's ugly and he doesn't want people to know he's ugly. Look at my rubber bands. Yeah, I have to wear those at night now. Thanks, orthodontist. But, what? My cat is attacking my door. I should probably get something to help with that. Anyway, that's, again, irrelevant. These are kind of both vlogs and movie reviews because I keep talking about stuff that's irrelevant to the movie. But this one, really, it's a heated debate between people who love it and people who hate it. Some people think it's more original and more better. Not more better. That's a stupid person saying. But it's some people think it's better than the later franchises because there's a little bit more of a plot. There's a little more meat behind the killing. But to me, it just feels like there's something missing. It kind of falls flat for me. It doesn't feel like there's not enough edge to it that's really needed. I feel like they really needed to add some weird factor because it just feels like it's the first of the rest of the movies, the first of the Jason hockey mask ones, but he's not Jason yet, and it just makes it feel like this movie was kind of unnecessary if they just skipped to the third one. However stupid and terrible the third movie was, it would have kicked off the rest of the series better, because this one, it doesn't really get you going. Like I said, it was kind of unnecessary. It feels like it was tacked onto the series, even though it came before everything else. But that's also the main complaint I have about it. Like I said, is that the logic is dead. The soundtrack is unmemorable. Nothing special about that. The acting is as good as you expect in a horror film. Nothing great. Nothing noteworthy. I mean, I don't notice. You'll never hear me talk about acting much because I don't really pick up on good acting. I pick up on realistic situations, which I think the first one was great at. It seemed like they thought through this camp counselor concept. The second one went in, killed the logic behind the first film, and then threw in a plot that really didn't. Or a plot and a setting and a series of events leading up to the killings that really didn't need to be there. It was kind of just stupid almost, and it doesn't really. I still have that thing on my chin, and I really need to stop picking at it. But it's basically just, I don't like this movie, even if other people do. I don't care what they really say. I don't like this movie. It's not Jason, and it's not Pamela. It's not Friday the 13th. It's just killing that happens to be tagged with Friday the 13th. And also, I think it was a pretty good idea for me to start these movie reviews because I look at things through a different set of eyes. Like, half a dozen of my friends love the Dark Side of the Moon Transformers movie, and I look at them like, did you watch the movie, or did you just look at the movie and stare at breasts the entire time and watch robots explode? Because that's really the only way you can enjoy that movie, is if you're just watching it for the visual appeal. That's not a good movie. It's not. The plot is stupid, and the character development is non-existent, and it's all stuff we've seen before. I haven't heard a single good review of that movie, and yet everyone I know loves it, and I get a headache from that concept. But I kind of like the third, fourth, and from then on Jason movies. They appeal to my generation, even though I'm not supposed to be seeing them technically. They appeal to my age group, who convinces their parents to let them into it. And that's the stronghold of most horror movies, is the kids. Because they scare us more, and we enjoy the vulgar aspects of it. However petty and inhumane that may seem, that's what we're going to see. Is we're going there to watch these killings and the sex and the death and the blood and the guts. We're not really seeing it for structure. I personally look at any movie, if I watch it at least a couple times, because the first time I'm watching it just absorbing everything I possibly can from that movie. I'm looking at the plot, I'm looking at the characters, I'm looking at the action. But for the Friday the 13th, I usually, when I'm watching it the second time, I'm just in it for the kills and the... I don't know whether any of you know what that could possibly mean. I didn't really make it vague, and I'm going to let your imagination wander with that one. I don't know if that's a good idea. Go with your imagination. That's always a good idea when talking about horror movies. But, you really can't watch a good Friday the 13th movie for plot or character, and that's why I think when I look up these things on Rotten Tomatoes, or I hear movie reviews by critics or anything, they always bash, especially the Friday the 13th franchise, because it's all about the gore and the creative deaths and the sex, and then it detaches itself from any sort of plot. They just try and explain it so that you go away feeling like you watched a movie instead of just watching a UFC fight with machetes. So there's that, and that's why I think they get such bad reviews, and why I think that I like them way more than any of these reviews, is because I'm watching it for the stereotypical violence and fright rather than any sort of plot or character or good movie quality. So overall, I gave this movie a thumbs down, because I don't really think it's necessary that you see it. You can go straight from the first one to the third one, and if you're looking for plot or dialogue or people, just watch the first one and don't go to any other ones. If you're looking for utter terror, you might want to watch this one, because it is kind of scary, but it's not... my cat's attacking my door again. That actually scared the crap out of me. But, it's not really for plot or elegance or anything. Neither are the rest of the films. And if you really want to see how Jason got this start, you really want to see... I mean, it's not even necessary, because in the third movie, they do a 15-minute recap of what happened in the last one. You get to see the exact footage from the second film. You can pick up pretty much all of the plot points from that. I saw the third one before I saw the second one, and it didn't bug with the plot at all. It was fine, because there was so little plot to begin with. You would pretty much pick up everything that happened and go straight into the third movie, which kicks off the stereotypical Jason series. But, I give this movie 1.5 stars. Just because I would give it 2 stars if there was more Jason, if Jason was really himself. Other than that, it's just not a good movie. I don't like it. There's nothing that really appeals to me, however much anyone else might love this. I just don't like this movie. It's boring and disconnected and sort of the ugly little stepchild of the rest of the movies. So, I guess that's kind of all I have to say. See you later, people.